What happened? Oh no, did you really? Oh, how do you feel? And resist saying, why don't you do this? She doesn't want a solution. She wants her emotional support. Does that make sense? So all the time I've seen men at conferences, they've been there 2 or 3 days at a conference, and after a day or two he's going to ring home and talk to his wife or his female partner just to check in. And she might have saved up 20,000 words for the last 3 days because she's been home with small children, and she wants somewhere to deliver those words because she has no one to talk to, and on the phone is him, and he says, how are you? And that's about the only conversation he gets to say, because now she starts to talk about how she is, and she talks and talks and talks and talks, and it's indirect talk, so he's not quite sure what exactly it's about. So now he starts to volunteer solutions to what he thinks might have been those problems. He says, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you try this? Get him on the phone now and do that. And the more he gives solutions, the more upset she gets. She says, you don't listen to anything I'm saying, do you? He thinks, well, I've just given my solutions and she's told me to forget it. He feels rejected. So he says, if you don't want my opinion, don't ask. Well, that'll help. And so now he gets punished. We identified the top 5 ways women punish men in a love relationship. The top 5 ways. They're the same everywhere. You want to know some of these? Yeah. The second one, number 2, is you send him to sleep in another place. On the sofa or in another room. Don't like your bad boy, don't like your attitude, get out there. And women do this in every country. They send men to the sofa. And women, gentlemen, sincerely believe that this is a punishment. They actually believe this is a punishment. Gentlemen, is this a punishment? Look, think about it, ladies. You made the guy go and sleep out there because you don't like his attitude. And here he is on a sofa alone with a remote control. No one's going to take it away. Behind him is a kitchen with food and drink. A woman is guaranteed not to talk. That's as good as it gets. It's like camping. If you really want to punish a man, ladies, make him sit down and discuss his feelings. That'll punish him. So that was a very long roundabout way of answering the question. But you can see again what we do with these things, and this is particularly important for both, not only for seminars and for education, but for television as well, is to take basic principles of understanding and work out a way of making them entertaining and funny, that the average person can say, yeah, that's my life. That happened to me yesterday. And every woman in this room's had a conversation with a male the last week where he's standing in front of an open refrigerator. And he says, where's the butter? Now, if you're a woman, you think this guy must be stupid or blind, because it's right there. You put it there, and there it is, and he can't see it. Well, we set up cameras inside cupboards, facing out, and got men and women to go to search for a range of items to see how do you do it. And we do it very differently. The first thing, women are looking for textures, colours and shapes. Men are looking for words. So he's looking for the word butter. So if it's turned around the other way and he can't see the word, it doesn't exist. It's gone. Now, men's eyes are configured to see differently to women's. They see directly in front like this, over long distances. So when a man focuses on the back, like when I focus on the back wall, so I focus really hard, I can't see you anymore. You disappear. Target vision makes sense. It allows me with my right hand and my spatial awareness to work out how to hit it from here. Hunting skill. Makes sense. 92% of men have a dominant right hand. The hand becomes dominant somewhere around about age 12. There's about 8 changes before that from left to right. But it's set by about age 12. Most men have, 9 out of 10 have a dominant right hand, which is your throwing, protection arm. 40% of women do not know which is their left hand or their right hand. They don't know. And men give you a hard time about this, don't they? You don't even know your left and right hand? No. You're not supposed to know. To be an effective gatherer, you need to be ambidextrous. You need to be able to be capable with two hands. You only need a dominant hand when it has a dominant purpose. Make sense? If that's its purpose, then you need your left brain identifier. But as a gatherer, you need to be good with two. So that's why 40% of women, nearly half, don't know which is left or right. You don't need to know. It's not relevant. You're good at doing multitasking at the same time. Okay, let's, how are we going timing-wise? How are we going timing? Going okay? Yeah? Want to go a few more questions? Or we start right?
Deci cred că, într-adevăr, am adresat foarte multe întrebări. Fiți răspuns așa. Ultima întrebare este dorința dumnealui să audă de la voi ultima întrebare. După asta, o să ne răbdați puțin, o să mimăm încă o dată în mânare, fiindcă nu s-au făcut fotografiile. Și după asta... Și în continuare, deci după aia o să treceți tot să luați autografe, de acord? Ultima întrebare, cea mai scurtă. Da, da.
Who's got the last question? Actually, there was oh, okay, here's one here.
For me, it's easy to believe him that he loves me or her that I'm the sweetest daughter in the world. But you that know all these gestures and moves, is that difficult to live in a world like this? And if it is not, how you can separate the Allan piece that is human and a psychologist?
Yeah, that's a very common question. People say, when you go to a party, are you watching everybody? And people kind of look at me a bit like a cross between a clairvoyant and a psychiatrist, and I'm neither of those, but I don't have many friends. People, when they meet me, they go, don't do this, don't do that, what's he reading into this? The way I'll answer, I went about 3 months ago to a conference of dentists, all dentists. And I had a champagne cocktail party, all dentists, and I was the invited guest speaker. But I noticed as I was talking to each dentist, you know what they were doing? They were looking in my mouth. They're going, I can fix that, I can straighten that, I can remove that. Like, they were not on duty, they were in relaxed, tricky chat, but they were looking in my mouth, I can fix that, I can do that. In other words, all the time they're on duty. About a month ago, I went to the Hairdressers Association conference, and they're having a champagne dinner, but they're looking at my hair, and they're going, I can cut that, I can colour that, I can trim that, I can shave that. In other words, a person who's a professional is always aware of what's happening, and it's the same with me. That wherever I go, I sat on the tube in London yesterday for 40 minutes, and most people say sitting on the tube in London is boring. It's damn good fun when you know what to look for. Sitting there watching people moving around, all masking, it's a really exciting event. And I never get sick of it, I really don't. It's good fun, and when you apply it in a business context, it has very powerful applications that can make the difference between when you get your idea accepted or get yourself accepted or rejected. So I guess it's like, I never switch off, but that's no different to most women. Women don't switch off. It takes an average woman 11 minutes in a room of 40 couples to have worked out the relationship between each couple. Now we use hidden cameras on this back in the 80s to show this. A woman walks into a room and she goes, dip, 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 dip. She's looking at couples. He doesn't like her, he doesn't like him, she's arguing with him, they've had an argument, they're in love, she's a bitch. Ladies, is this true? That's exactly what you do. You walk into it and you look around, who are the competitors, who are the ones in trouble, and you can see it. Now, men don't do that when they enter a room. They enter a room and they look for their seat. They look for competitive and alpha males. Who's here? What are they wearing? Then they sit in their seat and they don't want to ever move from their seat. 3 days they sit in that seat. They won't move. That's his territory. You don't sit in that seat. Where women are going, he's a bitch. I like her. He's good. Boy's cute. But you already know that because that's what happens. So it's funny you talk about that. The men have this tunnel vision. We see better than women directly in front over long distances, but peripherally we're much poorer. Women's peripheral vision is like a panorama. What it means, gentlemen, that she's talking to her friend here at front, but she sees people here and she sees people there while talking to a friend. That's why women don't get caught looking at men's backsides and crutches. We did an experiment on the beach for a television program filming where do people look when everybody's walking around with not much clothes on. And when it comes to looking at the opposite sex in the beach or at a swimming pool, who do you think does more of this, men or women? Women are the answer. Women do much more of this. Women are looking at everybody, men and women. Oh, look at that, look at that. They're not moving their head. Look at him. Oh, look at him. Oh. Because they have a wider periphery of vision. Why would women have a wider periphery? Well, it makes sense while you're multi-tracking. You can watch children here, watch somebody creeping up over there. You can take in a whole spectrum. That would make evolutionary sense. Men's vision for hitting a target front makes sense. And that's why you get a bunch of guys standing around together at a pool and a really great-looking woman walks past, they go. So it's not that men do more of it, ladies. They get caught. Women don't get caught. You're doing it all the time, but you blame us. It's a difference. In closing, and I'm going to do some books on this. I want to conclude by saying a couple of things. I know many of you are into studying psychology, and the future in the world, the future's here now, is about relationships. If you go back 30 years ago, last generation, the future was about what you knew or products and services. It doesn't apply anymore. Everything that happens now in the world is about relationships, in simple terms. If someone likes you, they feel comfortable with you, they'll be persuaded to want to do what you want them to do or to give them what you want. Now, if people don't like you, there's something about you that turns them off. It might be just one small gesture or something you're doing or something you're wearing that you're not even aware of. There's something about, when you meet someone and suddenly you don't take a liking to them, there's something about their appearance. Now, that could be hardwired into your brain that they look like a tribe that killed your tribe 100 generations ago. That's possible too, who knows? Chances are something about the way you look that turns them off. Those people will do whatever they can not to give you what you want. Even if they think it's a good idea, they fight you. So everything today, in social and in the world, is about relationships. You give your time, love and money to people you like. Is that true? You want to deal with people who you feel comfortable with. And the great thing about it, you can learn to project comfort. It takes a bit of practice, maybe 2 weeks, like training an actor. But once you learn how to do it, then it becomes part of who you are. So we know that changing your gestures will change the way you think. Because the way you think and gestures are linked together inextricably. We know tone of voice and gestures are linked. If you change your gestures, try to say the same thing, it's almost impossible to do it. Because the two are linked. It's likely to be somewhere in our ancient past, I suspect. And it's an exciting, fun thing, and you can make it fun. You can sit on the London Tube, or sit in the village square and just watch people interacting. And like somebody who's hearing impaired, you can work out what's going on. Women do it anyway. For men, we can learn to do it. You're far more perceptive at it. If you do, people buy you. People buy you, you move ahead. And finally, thank you once again for this great honor. I'm absolutely honoured by this, and thank you for the invitation to come along to be here. Some of you probably know we've got a big seminar on tomorrow, which will be it's a groundbreaking seminar because there hasn't been one quite like that in all that. And hopefully that'll be the first of many to come, which will be the form of business education. That's what it's going to be about. So thank you for coming tonight.